Do you love chaos on the court? Watching an athlete's passions boil over can be the cherry on top that takes a match from being entertaining to being downright epic. And it's just as fun to watch them pay the price for their ill doings. That's why we're bringing you the most legendary sport fines. In this video, you'll see athletes who have paid huge fines for bizarre reasons. But before you stretch those calves and get ready for action, hello, and welcome to Slyworks, where we're serving you up another video of fun facts that is going to knock your sportswear socks off. We recommend a quick warm-up routine before the match begins. First, sprint to the subscribe button, and then shoot for the post notification icon. We've got fresh and fabulous lists to share with you every week, so don't miss out. Fans often witness players living luxurious lifestyles through their social media accounts, but we don't always see what else their big bucks go toward. Upon placing the pin down, players agree to abide by the rules and regulations set in place by the committee of each league. Although rules vary from sport to sport, defying any game's principles will often earn the same result: a hefty fine. Even the most skilled athletes must sometimes pay a penalty off the field. Let's get started. This first athlete really lost his head during the match, whereas his opponent only lost part of his head. We're talking about the notorious fight between Iron Mike Tyson and Britain's Evander Holyfield. Tyson, who won his first 19 fights by knockout, ended this 1997 bout by biting Holyfield's ear. Twice. Yeah, you heard it right. Tyson had no regrets over biting Holyfield, and says he did it to teach him a lesson for headbutting him. In what was their second bout, Tyson chomped on part of Holyfield's ear not once, but twice, before he was disqualified by the referee during the heavyweight clash at the MGM Grand Arena. The second bite was hard enough to take a chunk out of Holyfield's ear, leaving him looking like Van Gogh. The chunk of ear was found in the ring after the fight. It was one of the most shocking moments in the history of boxing, and saw Tyson hit with a hefty fine and suspension from the Nevada Athletic Commission as a result. But it didn't appear to affect Tyson financially. Years later, he told NBA legend Dennis Rodman that he made the money back through various meet and greets with fans. In fact, Tyson was paid $3 million for being guest enforcer of the match at WrestleMania 11 BW. Tyson revealed that he was in fact planning on biting Holyfield's ear going into the fight. When Holyfield was asked if he could ever forgive Tyson for doing that, he said that he too was guilty of biting another player during a match. It wasn't just recorded or on live TV. Now in their 50s, both Holyfield and Tyson have been training for a return to the ring in the form of charity fights, and it's fueled speculation of a potential trilogy bout. Holyfield has already won the first two, but appears to be keen on mixing it up with his old rival again. Hopefully, they'll just box each other's ears this time, rather than bite them. If you think Tyson is nonchalant about million-dollar fines, wait until the last character on our list. It's as if he collects fines for fun. Now we move on to the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. Back in 1995, after Jordan had been away from the hoops for 16 months, he came back with a bang. He commonly wears jersey number 23, but came back to play with 45, and a different color of shoes too. Who says a leopard never changes his spots? There have been a lot of myths as to why Jordan chose to wear this number when he came back to basketball. But MJ himself explained the significance of 45 in his autobiography, For the Love of the Game. 45 was actually Jordan's jersey number throughout high school, until his junior year, when he played on the varsity team with his older brother Larry, who also wore the number. The younger Jordan decided on number 23, which is half of 45 rounded up. When he returned to the NBA, Jordan wore 45 on his back. The number only lasted him for 22 games. Jordan returned to 23 on his 23rd game. The mid-season number switch came at a cost. The NBA fined the Chicago Bulls $25,000 for each game that Jordan didn't wear 45. The Bulls spent a whopping $100,000 on Jordan wearing the number 23 that year. It seems those ball players have to watch out for referees and fashion police. Next on our list of those who pay to play is Dennis Rodman, a man known as much for his temper as he is for his hoop skills. We first encounter Rodman in 1997, when the Bulls were in Utah for the NBA Finals. During the series, the colorful forward cursed out an entire religion, making expletive-laced comments about Mormons in the state of Utah. This blunder cost Rodman $50,000. It also cost Rodman a lucrative endorsement deal on TV, as did the time he got suspended for kicking a cameraman. So he kicked another cameraman while he was in Minneapolis. That cost him $25,000. It cost Rodman only $7,500 to hit Milwaukee Buck Joe Wolf in the groin. A TV cameraman turned his camera on Rodman, who responded by kicking the cameraman very high on the inside of his left thigh. A source told the Associated Press that Rodman paid a $200,000 settlement for that kick at the can. The NBA suspended Rodman without pay for at least 11 games and fined him $25,000. The suspension was the second longest in NBA history and cost Rodman more than $1.1 million in pay. That brings the total cost of Rodman's kick to nearly $1.5 million. I bet he didn't get a kick out of that. Rodman spent some of his time off court, getting some much-needed counseling. Now, while you want to beware of the Bulls' bad boy, you really gotta watch out for the last guy on our list. But before that, the next personality on our roster is sure to be known to most of us. Tiger Woods is an American professional golfer. He became famous for bagging numerous awards in the field of golf. But it's no secret that Tiger Woods also has some issues. He just can't seem to filter the words that pour out of his mouth while playing. Woods was caught on video dropping an F-bomb during Thursday's opening round of the PGA Championship. Twice, in fact. Given his pitiful performance, it's not hard to imagine Woods' frustration. For years, watching Tiger Woods play golf has been a PG-13 experience. Woods frequently dropped explicitives on the course that are inevitably picked up by television microphones. And while many simply laugh at Woods' frustration, some viewers file complaints to the Federal Communications Commission. According to Golf.com, 70% of complaints on golf coverage filed to the FCC have been Woods-related, although there wasn't any declaration as to how much Woods has been fined in total. You know they're charging him by the word. So if you aspire to be a public figure, learn how to filter to avoid getting fined. And with the most bizarre fine on this list is Danish soccer player Nicklas Bendtner. Ironic, since we're talking about nuts here, because the issue Nicklas's was fined for is pretty close to them. He might have never imagined that fashion police would come this far. It's not what you think. He didn't flash his. It's more of a brand issue. What was supposed to be a momentous and celebratory day turned into one of his worst. UEFA, soccer's governing body, then announced it would fine him $125,000 and 1 game suspension for his actions. The problem? He was the latest offender in soccer's long history with ambush marketing. Bendtner's green underwear was inscribed with a big Paddy Power logo across the waistband. Paddy Power is an Irish betting operation. Mark Cuban eats fines for breakfast. This epic collector of fines is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He is deeply devoted to his team, often sitting courtside during games and refusing to stay in the luxury box like most owners do. He even travels with the team during most road games. He's not your typical suit and tie type of executive either, usually just donning a Mavs t-shirt or hoodie, while cheering for his team at the top of his lungs. This 61-year-old billionaire is indeed a man of character, who stands out in the crowd with his eccentric and loud personality. He can be quite vocal if he thinks the ref has made a bad call. This often gets him in hot water with the league, resulting in some pretty hefty fines. He remains unapologetic during these outbursts and is an image of defiance each time. Cuban's seemingly never-ending war with NBA officiating began almost as soon as he purchased a majority stake with the Mavs. He collected 3 fines in a span of 8 days in his first season as owner. He got his first taste of disciplinary action after getting fined $5,000 for criticizing a referee during a game with the LA Clippers. Following a confrontation with a referee during a game with the Utah Jazz, he was ejected from the court and fined $15,000. He was then fined $25,000 after he verbally abused official Gary Benson when the team lost to the Seattle Supersonics. And these fines were just during the 2000s. And yet, he continues to lambast people with his upfront words, either in-game or on social media. His most recent fine was in March of 2020, when the NBA rejected the Mavs' demand to replay the dying seconds of their February 22nd loss to the Atlanta Hawks. Adding insult to injury, they penalized Cuban $500,000 for yet another lengthy Twitter tirade shortly after the game. All in all, the spirited owner has coughed up a staggering $3,115,000 in fines since 2000. And rumor says it would be higher than that if every fine were publicized. Well, at least you know he's looking out for his team. He currently has a net worth of $4.3 billion, meaning these penalties just make up for 0.07% of his total wealth. No wonder he hasn't changed his ways. Now we know why. There you have it, guys. The most controversial and funniest fines in sport. If it were you, would you risk millions just to scream at a referee? Are these fines just too low? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section down below. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more Slyworks videos. See you next time!